Alright, hello everyone. I'm just showing some scripting here in the editor. I have three AI. One of them is east, so he is hostile to west, which is the player. And inside their code, you can see that I have set him to be a captive, so he doesn't call out enemies unless alerted. And this runs on the server, on the dedicated server, and this gives him an animation remotely, and then I have using spawn to call a series of little scriptlets, codelets, with a waitUntil in the scheduler, and then I don't need to check every frame. Every second is good enough. And then when this unit's behavior is set to combat, it will end the animation and then surrender. So that this is useful if you have a hostile AI and you need them to surrender. You can use a sieve or something like that and add them to the op4 of whatever your players are against. They can be like non-combat personnel, something like that. They don't have to be a civ. And they will react this way. Also, if you make them hostile to the players like this, but don't give them a weapon, then they will usually panic and run away. So that's kind of useful. These other civs have a different set of code. It's a little bit different, and instead what we have is a check on the player distance. That's because these ones are not hostile to the player. They're neutral, so they don't react to the player, and this little code snippet right here prevents them from calling out the player. So when the player gets close enough, within 5 meters, then they surrender. So let's see this in action. So I'm going to move a little bit, and then if I fire my gun, it will alert the AI on the right, and he surrenders. And then if I get close to one AI, he will surrender, and if I get close to the other one, he will also surrender. The idea being that the players are likely to be, armed soldiers, and when you get close enough, pointing a gun at someone, which is apt to happen in Arma multiplayer, then having a civ surrender like that is probably a reasonable thing. So it adds a little bit of immersion to your game. The one aspect is that because it's using sitting animation, when you put them inside of a chair, they will clip through the chair, although if they ragdoll or if they move, they will pop out of the chair. So it just depends on how it's set up.